And we're talking about Hitler. We're talking about Nazis. We're talking about Zionism. And I have a series on YouTube called, Rumble, called The Illuminati Card Game in Our World Today, where basically I'm going through all of the Illuminati card game and mapping out how it is essentially currently affecting our reality and using it to essentially predict, maybe, if at all is predictive programming, what's going to happen next. This is the Illuminatus trilogy. 3 books in one. That is the reason that this game came out. It is the inspiration behind the game. It's written by Robert Shea. There you guys go. Can you see
Do you know
that?
the history of that book? Why that book was written?
Tell me about it.
Well, basically what happened was, I believe it was Penthouse or Playboy. He would have, they would have somewhere, ask the editor or whatever, and people would send in stuff. Well, people started sending in a couple conspiracy stuff. He found it interesting. So he asked people, send in your biggest conspiracy. He got so many of them. He goes, this is really interesting. He decided to take he did research on the stories that people were sending in, and that's where the book comes from. All these letters being sent to the editor for like Penthouse letters or Playboy letters,
they
whatever.
Kind of lend some credence to this idea of like the wisdom of the masses,
Yeah. That's where it all came from. And it's so crazy how accurate it is.
Yeah.
Like pictures, faces.
Like together we all know. Yeah.
Like the Vegas shooting, that card game nailed it down to the tattoo. Down to the tattoo that the singer on the stage had.
What are you holding?
So these are all of my notes. I go through the book. I read it for people, and we've been doing a reading. We went through all the cards, and we've been going through a reading. But this is the Illuminatus part 3. And I just want, we were talking about Hitler. Hitler's brain, I believe, is a card in the Illuminati card game. Essentially, his brain was preserved, and we go over that. But there is, this is some of the notes that I took for chapter 3. So one of them says Golden Apple and Jewish conspiracy to rule the world. Elders of Zion, Zionists, Nazi propaganda, Jesuits, Islam, German Jews. It talks about Babylon and Ishtar. It talks about the pyramids and the American Medical Association. This is chapter 3. And so what I do is I try to draw similarities between the book, the card game, and our world today. And I found it very interesting that, I did a show with, someone who.
Are we not allowed to talk about him?
Oh, well, we could talk about him.
No, I mean,
absolutely.
I enjoy that.
I'm open book. I'm an open book.
No, I just wasn't sure where you guys are
I had a show
standing.
with, I have a show with Stu Peters, and Stu is always Jew. And it shows the resurgence of what? Hitler's brain, which is another fucking idea in the book that came out 50 years ago. This was published in 1975. This is essentially the 50-year anniversary. And in the book, there's this thing called the Law of Fives. It's just, the Law of 369, it's just paying homage to, 369, Nikola Tesla shit. And it's mocking us because that's what the book does, because comedy is the highest form of enlightenment. It's one of the ways to solidify reality. So yeah, you capture laughter in a moment as you're trying to make a valid point, and that's wisdom literally being dropped in the, but that's like
spoonful of sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus' example, always dropping wisdom and knowledge and teaching people things. Yeah, so that's the book. I don't know why I brought that. Hitler's brain. That's why I brought that up. I got excited.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, it is a reality being brought on today that they don't want you. I mean, if you even take a look at like what's going on in Germany right now, which fits into prophecy, they're destroying it from the inside. Just a simple discussion of it can throw you in jail for years. Think about that. For years. They're still playing. Germany's still playing Israel reparations. Think about that.
Yeah, well, and that country's so weird because, you got to remember, half of it sat behind the Iron Curtain, so it was just stunted. It's like a stunted limb or something. You know what I mean? It's just this not developed culturally and socially, that part, that was.
But look how crazy it is now. Like, it's out of control. And all Europe is like that. all of Europe is out of control
You
right
think
now.
it'll swing though?
Yeah,
You know how
that-
everything
that-
swings
It
one
already
way?
is. I mean,
Yeah.
look at France. I mean, France just locked
Yeah.
up the opposition
Yeah.
in jail.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's another thing in the book. The book talked about destroying countries from the inside by intermingling race, and like it was a theme in the book that they made fun of us 50 years ago.